What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool things almost every single day. And in today's video, we finally put a Slipknot mask mystery to bed. This is one that has been driving us crazy for years now. Now, a while back, I don't really remember when, somebody, I don't really remember who, pointed out the fact that Sid's Dynamo mask was not a normal BCD like we had always thought. Now, we always knew that the strapping on that mask was a little different than normal because it had the actual BCD backplate instead of an O-ring. But that was really the only thing that we noticed for quite some time. Then all of a sudden, really good footage, really good photos started coming out, and we noticed that not only did the mask sit really close to Sid's face, as opposed to the other BCDs that Sid wore in Slipknot, but there also seemed to be two very strange things going on with the rubber of the mask itself. One of those things being a massive, thick seam line right down the center of the mask. It almost looked like the mask had been stitched together. And the second thing being that there was no microphone port on the left-hand side of the mask. Every BCD that we had ever seen had this little piece of rubber sticking out on the side, but Sid's just didn't have it. So we thought this to be really weird. Now, obviously, the seam line could have been done by Sid with some thread or something of the sort, maybe some sort of manufacturing malfunction. However, the complete lack of a microphone port on the left-hand side was something very strange. So we knew that we didn't have a normal BCD on our hands, but then the question was, what was this mask and why have none of them ever surfaced? Well, through a lot of time, effort, and research, there are folks out there that have actually been able to track down the mask. Now, you can probably guess that I have obtained one, and I'm going to be showing that to you here in just a second. However, I have to let you guys know that I am not the one that discovered this mask, and not only am I not the one that discovered this mask, but I also am not the first person to have one in their collection. Now, I don't know who else has one in their collection, and if I did, I don't know if they want credited or not. I feel like this mask is kind of like a secret, but no one ever actually told me to keep it a secret, so I'm going to be showing you guys my copy and explaining the little bit of information that I do have on this piece to finally put this Slipknot mask mystery to rest. Now, with that being said, here is my copy. So as you can see, there is a pretty hefty seam line going down the center of the mask. Now, it is not exactly the same as Sid's. His is a little bigger than mine. That's what she said. But I really do think that all of them are going to be different. It just depends on how the mask was cut during manufacturing. But then you see right there on the left side, there is no microphone port. Not only that, but looking down into the mouth of the mask, you can see just how close the chin and lips sit to the mask, obviously protruding out of the front there. So this is most certainly the mask. Now, I haven't done any sort of converting to this piece. All of the lenses are still intact. I haven't messed with the strapping at all, and I honestly haven't decided if I want to do that. Clearly, these things are very rare, and we've been after them for a long time, so I just haven't pulled the trigger on doing anything with it yet. So what exactly is this mask? Well, this mask is known as a Gas Pro. These were produced by the Sieb Gorman Company. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right, although I am probably not, and they were manufactured between the 1950s and the 1970s. So why are there so many differences between this and a BCD or a CDR, as it's most commonly referred to in the gas mask community? Well, this didn't actually use a CDR or BCD mold. This was actually molded after the number L1 rubber gas mask, obviously using parts that are reminiscent to a BCD and in the same shape as a BCD, so clearly it's going to look like a BCD minus those small differences. Now, this type of thing was not uncommon at all during this time of gas mask making. There are still gas masks being made to this day that use these same molds. Another cool thing that would separate this from a BCD is that these were usually unstamped or unmarked, meaning they had no extra molding showing any sort of dates, no sort of companies, nothing like that. Information on this gas mask is pretty limited, although there are some resources out there that can tell you a little bit more than what I've covered in this video. How and why did Sid have his and not use it that often? I have no idea. I am definitely happy to add this one to my collection. I feel like it takes my Sid Wilson gas mask collection to the next level, which is something that I'm always stoked on because I really care about that portion of my collection. And I'm happy to bring it to you guys here on YouTube to let the whole community know exactly what is going on with this mask and address yet another Slipknot mask mystery, which there seems to be no end to. There are just mask mysteries all the time, so when we can finally knock one out, even after 20+ years, it always feels really good. Although very similar similar to a BCD. I hope after doing this video that I've covered enough of the differences so that you guys can easily tell the difference now, because the more that you start to notice, the more that you're like, oh yeah, that is really, really different. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching. Thank you very, very much for doing so. And with all of that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I will leave you guys with some nice up-close shots of this mask as always, and that will be that. So again, thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, this has been AJ Good at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and yes to research, and we will see you guys later.